Yes, this evening we would like to introduce to you two folks from the Idaho Transportation Department District 2 office out of Lewiston, Mr. Doral Hoff and Mr. Ken Helm, and they are here this evening to provide you an update on two things that they've been working on. One is the long-awaited US 95 project from Thorn Creek to Moscow, and the other is a newer project that's slated to go this summer, which is essentially a paving project that'll be occurring within the city during this summer. So with that, gentlemen.
Thanks, Les. Called me Mister. I like that. That don't happen very often. Thanks, Mr. Mayor, council, staff. Appreciate you guys having us. You know, I was sitting on the way up in the passenger seat. Doral was driving. By the way, Doral's my boss, so he drives and does the handouts. He does all the work, and I just sit here and talk. So, but I was thinking, you know, it's been a long time since I've been up here and chatted with you guys. Most of you are all new faces. And I think it's been at least 6-7 years since I've been here. So I'm glad that we're here. Got a lot of good news to talk about on both projects, Thorn Creek to Moscow, and then also on the Latah County paving job. I'm going to start with the Thorn Creek Road to Moscow. And the map that you see in front of me here, it shows the last three alignments that we studied in the final environmental impact statement. And that was W4, C3, and E2. And back in November, we submitted the final impact statement to the Idaho Transportation Board for their approval and submittal to the Federal Highway Administration, FHWA. In January of 16, that was submitted to FHWA for their approval. They actually approved it at the Idaho Transportation Board meeting in Grangeville, Idaho in March of 2016. That was a huge milestone for the Idaho Transportation Department District 2. What that did and says is that we can move forward with two different things: final design on the project and the right-of-way process. We started right off the bat working on the final design plans, getting them, because all at that time we had is a planning level plans at that time to put together the document. But the right-of-way process, we started right away. We hired a consultant to help us put together some right-of-way plans and the descriptions and legal descriptions and exhibits for that. And we hired, that was David Evans Associates out of Spokane, Washington. And they worked real hard. In the meantime, what we ended up doing is we outsourced the appraisal process, and we hired an appraiser to do all of the appraisals for us. They got started last summer doing that in August, and they actually just completed, well, they aren't quite done. They're almost done completing all of the appraisals. They had about 20 appraisals to do. And the appraisals have to be submitted to what is called a review appraiser. That review appraiser we just hired not too long ago, about a month ago. And he's on board, and he's got a couple of the appraisals right now, and we anticipate him, he has actually got started, and we anticipate him working on them very hard. And each appraisal takes anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to review, and before he can submit it to it is the next step, which is the negotiator. And the Idaho Transportation Department is currently working on hiring a negotiator at this time. We're hoping to get someone on board at least by the end of this month, first part of next month. That negotiator will be the person that will actually go out and knock on the doors and negotiate each of the parcels with all the property owners along the E2 route. We are hoping that those appraisals get done by August of this year. We're going to have, in the design end of it, we're going to have a intermediate design review later this month. And then we're also doing something that's called value engineering on the project. Value engineering is a requirement by the feds on a project of any size over $50 million, and that's total cost. That's cost of the construction, the design, the right-of-way, and everything, and we are over that cost. So we're going to be doing that later this month. We put together a team, and what we're doing is we're looking at anything that we might have missed in the district. They'll be going through, I will be explaining what we did for the environmental document. We'll be looking at all that. We'll be looking at structures. They will be looking at traffic control. They'll look at staging areas. It's a 3-day process, and we got about 14 people coming throughout the state to do that, and a couple of them are the feds, too. So that will tell us a lot and help us get to our final design phase of this. Our final design phase, we are hoping to be about in July range of this summer. The funding on this, we have it in 17 and 18 right now, and we are looking at moving the funds, the 17 funds, to 19 because we do anticipate 2 years. These are federal fiscal years, so the beginning of the fiscal year of 18 starts October 2017. And that is our goal, to get this project out and start the bidding processes around October, November of 17. That being said, that means construction will start, I would say at the beginning of 2018. It could start, there's one structure across the Ede Road, and it could start there. Who knows where they're going to start? Don't know that yet. But I do anticipate doing a lot of excavation that first season and doing most of the work in 2018, finishing up in 2019. There is about 3 million yards, 2.8 million yards right now of excavation, and it's going to take them a while to get that done. I do also know there's a lot of contractors that are very interested in this project. I've been already getting phone calls from Montana, Salt Lake, Seattle, California. Big contractors that are interested. That's pretty exciting, actually, because that helps the bids, as we all know. So anyway, everything goes good. At the end of 2019, we should be having a ribbon cutting and opening that new 4-lane highway. We'll have a 4-lane highway all the way from Lewiston clear up to the town of Moscow and into the town of Moscow, actually.
Ken, that's very exciting news, and it's been a long time coming for that dangerous stretch of road to get fixed, a long time. So,
yeah. And seriously, we do appreciate your guys' support. All of you
Absolutely.
have been awesome throughout this whole process and what have you. We're getting close. Who knows? And there is a lawsuit. I should bring that up, of course. We had a lawsuit back in 2003 on the environmental assessment, the first document that was wrote. And we lost that lawsuit based on there was really only 2 factors in it. The judge said that we needed to do an environmental EIS, and that was just from top of Eisenhower Hill into town because we left the existing alignment at that point. And the other factor was there was actually 80 acres of a property owner's land that we were purchasing for a conservation easement. And he said he didn't really like that end of it. There was no backup information to justify that. So he said we had to back up and do an EIS on this last stretch, in here, the 7-mile stretch. I do really anticipate this lawsuit going fairly quickly. We've already submitted what is called the administrative record. It's huge. It's got tons and tons of stuff. That was submitted about 3 weeks ago to the judge and the other side. And the last go around when we did the EA, the whole process was about 6-month process. So assuming that it goes somewhat the same way, I would anticipate hearing something by the end of 6 months. I don't know if we're going to go to court. Of course, the judge can say, rule in favor of them, which is Paradise Ridge Coalition, by the way, or us, or he could say, let's go to trial, and like he did last time. And so that was that full 6-month process when we went to trial. So keep your fingers crossed, and let's hope if we do go to trial that the Auto Transportation Department basically wins and we can build a project and start saving lives out there.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So, any questions about Thorn Creek before I get into the next one?
Well, I think you explained it real thorough. And the council have any questions?
Well covered.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken.
So the next project Les asked me to talk about, we get together, the District 2, a couple of staff members and several staff members from, thank you, Dora, from city staff. We get together about every quarter and meet to talk about different projects, what's going on. It could be signals, striping, all sorts of things. It's been very valuable. We think that's been awesome, Les. We get a lot out of it. I hope they get a lot out of it by doing this. And during that, I usually give an update about Thorn Creek, usually. And then there's another project I brought into the works last meeting, and that's Latah County paving. You got handed out a drawing 11 by 17 that shows all of the different sections that we're going to do. And the reason for the project name of Latah County paving is, you know, we've done a lot of projects up here in the last many, many years, 39 years that I've been here. I was actually involved with a couple of jobs. But whenever we go through and we do a rehab job or whatever we're going to do up here, we always miss these little pieces, like each of the little couplets. You know, you got on the north end, you got the Jackson that goes to the concrete section. You've got on the south end, the Jackson Street that comes into the south couplet. You've got all of these little pieces, that piece from the south couplet to Veach, there to the concrete on State Highway 8. This project, along with several other sections like State Highway 8, Washington State Line to Jackson Street, are going to be done under this project. This project is a FY, fiscal year 2018 project. Fortunately, and recently, we just advanced that project, or turned it from a federal aid to a state-funded project. Our state fiscal year starts for FY18 starts July 1st, 2017. That's this summer in July. We are working right now trying to get it approved so that we can get the funding, which is about $3.5 million, advanced a little bit so we can start the construction work earlier than July 1st, 2017. This project has 50 working days, and we're wanting to get started shortly after the college gets out on recess for the summer recess. That will allow us to easily get done, I anticipate the 1st of August, if everything goes good. And that gives us a few weeks just in case something does slip in through there. Really the concept, and I can go through in much detail of each of these routes, what we're doing, but pretty much the bottom line is most of the travel lanes in every one of these bracketed areas in front of you, they're going to get about, we're going to mill down about a half a foot, and then we're going to replace the plant mix there, just in the travel lanes. But the whole section will get 1/1500ths overlay from curb to curb, lip of gutter to lip of gutter, whatever the situation is out there. And then we're also, there's some, you might have noticed there might be a soft spot or two out there on some of these sections. We're going to end up taking care of, that was a good one, wasn't it, Dora?
Yeah, we have some soft spots,
I know. Well, with this project, the advantage of this project is we are also going to do what is called a soft spot repair item, to where we can come down and dig down into the sub base a little bit, see what's going on, and repair that and build that back up. Some of those areas might be a little bit large, but we're going to end up fixing that, and hopefully so that they don't come back. But just doing the mill and inlay, and then with the 1/1500ths overlay on top of that, that's going to be huge throughout this whole community. And then the last section in here that is really big, and I think you guys are very much aware of, it's just up the street, not too far on Washington Street, the little connector down through there. We've been investigating that. Actually, we've been looking at that for several years, many years actually. When that was built, that was a basement underneath there, and who knows what ended up happening, but we have, we think that there was probably garbage put down in there, and basically we filled over the top and it keeps slipping down, settling down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down with our drill log information. We're going to go down about 13 feet and rebuild that whole section in through there where that slump is, and hopefully we take care of it. When we bring it back, we're going to use a material that is a rock cap material. It's a little bit bigger material, drainable material with fabrics, and we're going to put it in layers of 3 feet as we build it up. And so we're really hoping that that takes care of it. Then we're also doing about 180 foot of overlay through this whole stretch too, down through there. So it's another try. We're going to try it. We think it's going to work, and we feel pretty confident. Our materials engineer, Chad Clausen, believes in it. So I think we'll make it a lot smoother for you.
Well, that's exciting news, too. We got lots of work to do on our streets here in Moscow, and so we appreciate all the help that we get from the state. Ken, Darla, thank you very much. Council, have questions for Ken? Walter, I'll start with you.
Ken, do you know yet if you're going to be talking about detours? Are you going to be able to keep traffic flowing on the same streets by working half at a time or something like that?
That's our goal. We are hoping to get exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to keep, the advantage is we got 4 lanes pretty much throughout all of these stretches. So you can do that, even if we, let's say State Highway 8, Washington State line to Line Street, we take the 2 westbound lanes going out. We could put 2 lanes on the eastbound traffic. The beauty up here is the traffic reduces drastically when College is out. And so that's really, really going to help us a lot to do that. I don't see a lot of headache like you can get with traffic control throughout all this. I see it working very smoothly, to be honest with you.
Art?
Yeah, this is kind of for less too, but with 6th Street going down for the sewer project at the same time, it sounds like there's going to be some juggling here. Are we going to be able to handle the east-west traffic while all of this is happening?
Certainly.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it is something we are talking about. Even in our staff meeting yesterday morning, we were having that discussion about the 6th Street projects, which will have some effect on east-west traffic, what happens with ITD's work. We have other asphalt-related projects going on throughout the community this summer as well. So there will be a lot of coordination discussions between ITD and city staff about how we maintain traffic flow throughout the system. So
Well, the good news on that is, yes, we're going to have some detours in different spots, but we're going to get a lot of work done on streets this year, this summer, in the city of Moscow, and that's something that we need to. Not only we did that last year, we're doing it this year, we're doing it every single year, so we can keep plugging away on these things and just chipping away year after year so we can get our streets up to the standards that they need to be. Other questions for? That's a wonderful report.
I would like to mention, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, is that brings up a good one, 6th Street. We do have another project that's going to be going on up here this summer, and it's called the Lewiston-Clarkston Grinding Project. And we're going to be grinding, we're going to be crack sealing the concrete section on Jackson Street, and then we're going to do a smoothness grind all the way through on Jackson Street. It'll be a very short project, and it'll be phased that way too amongst the 3 lanes all the way through there. And so that's timing is, again, it's an FY18. We're hoping to get the funds. If not, it'll be right after July, after the 4th of July holidays, or towards the middle of July probably when it starts. So that'd be kind of nice. You'll have a lot of smooth roads up here throughout the community, and at least on the state system. Sounds like you guys are doing awesome work on your local system too. So, it's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Spending some money.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Report. We appreciate you coming up and giving us that report. We've all been kind of wondering, so it's good for the community to get a chance, Ken, to see everything. So,
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.